and welcome to another Wolftime game video. Today we're continuing with Blood Bowl, and I'm going to be painting up this guy's the Ogre for use with the Bogenhafen Barons. He's absolutely fantastic looking sculpt. Came in the core box that I've been working through recently. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, make sure you do check those out, because there's some fantastic sort of paint schemes, really easy to do as well. But today obviously we're going to do this guy, but before we get started, as usual, let's get that kettle on. Okay, so if you've been here before and you've seen any of the other videos that I've been doing recently, you'll know the first thing we want to do is give them a really good base coat. I've used Games Workshop's Grey Seer to give the whole miniature a spray. As you can see, I've already put the basing material down, which is just a fine sand stuck on there with a little bit of PVA glue. All I've done is pop PVA glue on the base, dipped it into the sand, and then wiped off the excess around the edges, and that's it. That's the basing done. Give it a really good spray, and you can get on to painting. Now, the first thing I'm going to actually paint is the eyes with these. I like to always, when I do sort of human style skin or anything like that, I always like to do the eyes first. Now, I've grabbed a little bit of black paint. In this instance, I'm using Contrast Black Templar, and as you can see, all I've done is use a really fine tip brush and painting a line from like essentially where the nose finishes on the eye out to the outside where the eye would finish, and this adds like a shaded area behind the eye essentially, and behind around the eyeball. And talking of the eyeball, that's the next thing we want to do. And as you can see, I've got again another really fine tip brush. I've grabbed a little bit of white paint, and all I'm doing is painting in the center of those black lines a white line essentially. And this will be the eyeball from the actual eye. It's easy if you do it just in like one go. Just put your paintbrush down and pull it across, and you haven't got to play around. But obviously then you could see I didn't quite go on quite as I planned on that time, so I had to have a bit of a play around with it. Now, as you can see, that's the black and the white done. Now I'm going to paint the iris. I always go with black with this. There's no point doing colour. You're never going to see it, 3 feet away when you're playing on the tabletop. You're never going to notice that. So all I've done is got a little tiny bit of black paint on the end of the brush, and then all I'm doing is touching to the center of that white line. And this essentially makes the iris, so whenever you look at eyes, you never see the full iris, so it's you always only see like the middle part, I suppose, and you only see the left and the right of the edges. You don't see the bottom and the top edge. So that's it. That's the eyes done, and we're on to the actual skin. Now I'm using another contrast paint, and this time it's Contrast Gulliman Flesh, and I'm essentially coating all the skin areas with this paint. Now you've got to be really careful not to get it on the eyes, because you will lose that whiteness of the eye if you do get it in there, which is a bit of a pain. So really do take your time getting it around that, but otherwise just pile it on there, let it sink into the recesses as it's supposed to do, and it'll look absolutely amazing, especially around his face. I mean, there's so much detail around the face with the, because he's a big guy. He's got the rolls of skin around his muscles, around the arm. He's really big sort of guy. He's got a lot of definition around his muscles. So this works really well to highlight where those muscles are, and it drops into the recesses absolutely amazingly, as you can see there. Now what I'm going to do now is move on to the next colour, and essentially it's white. So obviously we've already sprayed the miniature Grey Seer, but what we want to do is add a little bit of white contrast paint that adds that little bit of pigment in there and really makes it shine really nicely. And I'm using Contrast Apothecary White. Now this, I've found, is the easiest way of painting white. I've never found a better way of doing white paint, because even if you spray a white on the base coat, you've not got the detail that this adds. This drops into the recesses as with the other contrast paints and gives it like an almost grey blue sort of a darkened area in those recesses, and looks absolutely amazing. Now I've covered pretty much all the areas I'm actually painting with the fabric with that before moving on to the fabric colour, which in this instance is Screamer Pink. Now, Screamer Pink isn't a contrast paint, it's a normal base paint, but it's an absolutely fantastic colour, especially when you mix it with a decent shade, which we'll come on to in a little while. So I've started essentially painting that. So I started with the trousers, and just did the stripe down either side, and now what I'm doing here is actually painting his left hand side, or your right as you're looking at it, that area, so it's half and half. So we're going to do half of it's going to stay white and half of it's going to go with the pink, which gives it a real sort of sport feel. It, adds that colour to it and looks absolutely brilliant. And the next thing I'm going to do is paint all the like the black sort of leather area. He's got like a big harness sort of thing on his back, which has got some straps over the top of. Now the straps I'm going to do with a brown, because I wanted it brown leather, but underneath I didn't want it all to blend in, so I've gone with a black colour. So you can see here I'm using contrast black Templar, and I mean I'm really taking my time around those areas that we've already painted using a really nice fine tip brush. While I've got the black Templar out as well, I'm just picking out a few other details, such as the chest plate. You've got a skull feature, so I wanted the eyes and the mouth and that to go black, so I really added that, the darker area to that. And also his boots as well, I'm going with a black, complete black for these boots, unlike the the orc players that we've seen where I've gone with a few different highlighted colours. Because there's a lot of colour in the uniform of the Bogenhafen Barons and this Ogre, I wanted to go with a darker colour for the boots, so we've gone with the black. Now, as I mentioned, just the straps over the top of those black areas, we wanted to go with brown, and I'm using a contrast wildwood to pick out those areas, and I'm just taking my time going over the top. If you do go over the black, don't worry too much, you don't really see it. If you can see it, then just pop a little bit more black paint on there, but try and be as neat as possible when doing this. And just picking out all of those strap areas, specifically around the back. That's the big area really, but there is a few strapped areas that obviously come around the front and hold that big skull plate he's got over his stomach and his chest as well, so pick that out. There's also a few straps around his lower legs and ankles, so we're going to go with brown for that as well. Now this is really tricky to actually paint this because we've already put the white on there. And I bet you're probably thinking, why didn't you go with the brown first and go with the white after? But essentially, the white contrast paint runs really easily, so it would have ran all onto those browns and we would have had to touch it up anyway. So I found it easy to actually go over with the smaller details in this instance and go with the brown over the top of those white areas. And I do find that it looks okay, and it works pretty well that way, and it's a pretty efficient way of painting, or at least I found that in my mind. Now, a lot of the armour of the Bogenhafen Barons is that goldy sort of a colour, so I wanted this guy to be the same, though I am going to put a few bits of silver on him as well, but the majority of the armour is going gold, so we're starting with that centre plate there. And I'm using Retributor armour, which is the same colour I use for my Custodes, and it's also the same colour I've used in the past to pick out any sort of gold features on any miniatures that I paint really. Even the Age of Sigmar warriors, the good warriors, I can't remember the name of them now, they're all this sort of colour as well. It's a fantastic looking gold and it works really well. You can add a few different shades onto it to get different effects, and that's one of the things I'm going to be doing today in a little while, to show you how we can get this sort of gold to look really metallic, and it kind of looks really good when you actually do add it in. But take your time around the mini, pick out all these little sort of metal areas. He's got it around his hands, he's got armour up his left hand arm as well. He's got his shoulder pads and his knee pads and things like that, so you're picking all of those details out, just taking your time to get around the whole thing. So as you can see here, that's now done. So what we're actually going to use is the same method that Games Workshop use for their videos. Is we're going to go with the Reikland Flesh Shade Gloss. Now this is the Reikland Flesh Shade is obviously a colour that we usually use over the top of some of the skin tones as we've seen in the past, but this is a gloss one. So what this does is add a shine to it, and it gives a real sort of metallic feel. So not only does it drop into all those recesses around the gold areas, but it also adds this really nice shine to it. You could add it to silvers and things as well. They probably wouldn't work as well, I don't think, but over the top of this Retributor armour, it looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, you can already see there it's started to dry. You can see those darker areas look really good. And talking of silver, we're actually going to pick out some of the silver details now, specifically the sort of spiked area on his right shoulder pad. I wanted that to look different because I didn't want him to look too gold. And then he's got a little bit of chainmail around his waist as well, so we're adding a little bit of silver there. And also he's got this sort of big metallic fist. Now I could have painted the whole of this gold, but really speaking, I thought, you know, it's a bit ornate, so we want maybe the top of it to be gold, the ornate area, but the main working part of it, where he's going to smash into those other players, wanted to look more metallic, so we went with the silver for that. I've also picked out on the detail on his shoes, we talked about where it was black earlier. The bottom of the shoe though has got a lot of spikes and things like that, and the front, so we've gone with a silver, kind of a highlight just to those front areas. Don't need to, you know, stick the silver paint on really thickly, just take your time, just pick out some of the raised details, and it looks a little bit worn that way. I've also gone around the miniature and actually picked out a lot of the buckles. There's quite a few, specifically on the left arm. There's quite a few buckles on holding the bits and pieces on, holding the belts on. So we wanted them to be silver essentially. And then to actually shade those areas, almost the same thing what we did before with the gold. We're actually going around now with Nuln Oil, and we're shading all of those silver areas. So what it does, it dulls that silver down really well, and it actually looks pretty fantastic when you actually get this shade on there. Nuln Oil works wonders, and it you know, works with everything. Pretty much use Nuln Oil on all of the miniatures I paint now, especially on any silver areas I do, because it gives that more realistic sort of a look and a realistic feel to the silver. There's a couple of other areas I just want to pick out with that Nuln Oil as well, mainly around the teeth, because his teeth, you'll note that we didn't paint with the skin tones earlier on, so you pop a little bit of Nuln Oil on there and it darkens it down slightly and doesn't, you know, shine, and adds that definition between each of the teeth as well. Works really well, as you can see there, and also adds a little bit of you know, darkening around the edge, so it breaks it apart from the rest of the mini too. But essentially that's the, you know, the paint on the actual miniature is done. So now we're on to basing, and I'm using exactly the same technique I've used with the others. So if you've seen some of my other Blood Bowl videos, you know my go-to at the moment is Rhinox hide on the base. Just paint the whole thing with Rhinox hide, and then we going around the edge of the base with the black, which I do with pretty much all the miniatures I ever paint. I always go with this black around the edge of the base because it frames the miniature really nicely and makes the base pop and the miniature pop from the table or whatever you're actually playing on, whatever surface you're playing on. I think it works really nicely, and it does definitely make a difference, rather than going with that, you know, complete base colour. Adding this black in really looks good, but you do need to do a couple of coats on that, I will say. Now to add in the actual static grass, all I'm using is a little bit of PVA glue, as you can see here. Obviously we wait for the paint to dry, and I'm using a pair of tweezers just to pop the static grass onto the base. Now I'm not using an applicator, because if you use an applicator it all stands up really neatly, and I didn't want it to look that way. I wanted to look messy, like a pitch, like they've been playing on it for a while, and that's it. That's the model complete. And you can see there that it's taken not many paints at all to get this look. It's absolutely fantastic. You can see the definition around the model. The armour looks brilliant. Just this mix of Retributor armour with a little bit of Reikland Flesh Shade gloss works really well. The leather and in contrast with the black, and then the metal around those rings on his rear look brilliant. You can see I picked out a few of the other details with the pink as well, the Screamer pink. They look really good, and I'm really pleased with how this whole miniature's turned out. I can't wait to actually get him on the tabletop. But let me know what you think down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I've got loads more videos coming your way. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.